Hear yourself?
Yeah, because I can't hear myself.
You usually have to turn the music off.
Yeah, that's still the same thing.
The University of Chicago Athletics program aims to enrich the life of the whole person and is invested in competitive excellence. Your contributions to the Friends of Maroon Athletics enhance the student-athlete experience for all teams. Help us build on the already exceptional foundation of success for which UChicago is recognized. Support UChicago student-athletes by making a gift to Friends of Maroon Athletics today.
Well, if from about 40 minutes ago, it is the same one from coming over from women's soccer at the Maroons as we stay over here at Stagg Field as we get you set for men's soccer action as your number 2 ranked Maroons who come in with a record of 3-0-1 welcome in the visiting Wheaton College Thunder who come in with an unbeaten record as well of 2-0-1. Thanks for joining us here once again on the Maroons Broadcast Network powered by the Illinois Media School. As mentioned before, I'm Ryan Fay, joined by former Maroon soccer star, the former number 28, DJ Wise, joining me here on the call. DJ, welcome to the booth.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be on the call this year.
And for this season, as we mentioned, this team, well documented, one of the best teams in Division III, coming in ranked number 2 overall. What has been the key so far to the early season success here in 2018 for the Maroons?
The big thing for the Maroons is consistency in their program. They've been building it up for a number of years now. It's all about possession out of the back, working through the midfield and getting it up to the star duo up top. They're all about control. They're all about trying to play as much soccer as they possibly can, and that's a culture that runs deep for the last couple of years and should continue both throughout this entire season and in the future seasons to come.
Now, for the Wheaton College Thunder, you mentioned this as we were kind of getting our notes together pregame, how Wheaton College, was a very good perennial offensive team last year. Well, they've lost some of that due to graduation, but a 2-0-1 start, though, is nothing to be, short-sighted of when you look at the Thunder team that's coming in here tonight. And
they really took it to Benedictine in their first game of the season, so they definitely have potential for an explosive offense. They lost one of their senior stars up top last year, so far, stats-wise, it's been more of a committee offense from them, but they have scored a lot of goals, and there's definitely potential for a lot of goals on the field tonight.
Overall, at the series history between the Wheaton College Thunder and the University of Chicago Maroons, the first match came all the way back in 1940. The Maroons got a 2-1 victory. I don't know if when you were playing, if they gave you those kind of historical stat lines or anything, but in the last time that these two teams met, it was back last year, and that was over at Wheaton College, and the Maroons got the 1-0 victory in that contest. And in your senior season, by the way, the last time the Wheaton College Thunder came here, you guys won that one 2-0. Do you remember that? Or?
Yes, I do. Very well. Wheaton's always a big rivalry game. No matter how the teams are playing that year, it's something that we definitely circle on our calendars. I don't know if they do, but we've always sort of at the beginning of my career sort of looked up to Wheaton as a team that's a perennial contender in the tournament, perennial contender in their conference, and it's someone we really want to beat every year. So I definitely remember all of the Wheaton games that I played. Actually, tonight their assistant coach, Elliot Borge, used to play for them when I was in the program, and he took it to us about 3 years in a row before we finally graduated. So I definitely remember all of the Wheaton games.
As the warm-up clock has come to an end, we'll get you to the starting lineups and the introductions right now as we listen to the public address of Nate Lundquist.
College Thunder and your home team, University of Chicago Maroons. Now let's meet the starters for both sides, starting with the visitors from Wheaton. Freshman midfielder number 5, Michael Martins. Junior midfielder number 8, Sean Dunlop. Senior midfielder number 9, Andrew Wade. Junior midfielder number 10, Jacob Kapitaniuk. Sophomore midfielder number 14, Shane Copeland. Junior mid, number 17, Peter Whalen. Sophomore forward, number 18, AJ Moyes. Sophomore defender, number 23, Justin Hill. Sophomore mid, number 26, Ryan Melger. Sophomore goalkeeper, number 32, Easton Biddlecombe. And freshman mid, number 36, Drew Beamer. And now the starting lineup for your University of Chicago Maroons. Sophomore in goal from Harrison Township, Michigan, number 1, Aaron Katzenpallis. A junior defender from Austin, Texas, number 3, Sam Drablos. A senior midfielder from Holland, Michigan, number 6, Nico Capitosko. Sophomore midfielder from Lincolnshire, Illinois, number 7, Ben Brandt. Senior forward from Tulsa, Oklahoma, number 9, Max Lopez. Senior forward from Santa Monica, California, number 10, Matthew Coe. A freshman midfielder from Lisbon, Portugal, number 11, Vicente Mateus. A senior defender from Oberlin, Ohio, number 12, Josh Schofield. A junior defender from McLean, Virginia, number 14, Nate Johnson. A junior forward from New York, New York, number 17, Dio Adeosun. And a sophomore defender from Jonesboro, Tennessee, number 30, Scott Lick. At this time, we ask that you please rise and remove your hats for the playing of the national anthem.
So you've heard now the national anthem, our introductions, and our starting lineup is completed. We're getting set for University of Chicago Maroons men's soccer here at Stack Field alongside former player DJ Weiss. I'm Ryan Fay with you here on the Maroons Broadcast Network, powered by the Illinois Media School. And DJ, just a couple quick keys to a Maroons victory here tonight.
I'd say big thing is to keep possession and start really, really quick. The Maroons, if they're in their rhythm, can beat anyone in the nation. If they don't get off to a quick start, if they get a little rattled by things, I think it was sort of seen at the very beginning of their game against Trinity. So I think getting off to a quick start, couple chances or a quick goal will really settle them in. But once they establish possession, I think that's their key to the game.
The Maroons, you'll see them in their home white uniforms here today with the maroon trim and the gray numbers, while for the Wheaton College Thunder, they'll be in their road navy blue uniforms with the white trim and white numbers to correlate. The starting goalkeeper for University of Chicago Maroons and Aaron Ketson-Paulus will be in the light blue jersey with the white trim and the white numbers. And meanwhile, for the Wheaton College Thunder, their goalie will be in the light blue uniform as well. More of a shade or dark of a light blue, with some black numbers and black trim to correlate. Although it is kind of similar to Ketson-Paulus's uniform. So as we get the jersey game set, we'll get the soccer match set in a moment. It'll be the Wheaton College Thunder going left to right on your screen, and then the University of Chicago Maroons going right to left here for the first 45 here at Stagg Field.
One interesting thing I actually heard from the Chicago team, it looks like they're setting up in a 3-5-2 today. It's something I definitely know they practice a decent amount, but I believe this is the first time they're pulling out this formation this year. So I'll actually be interested to see how their wingbacks deal with spacing both up and down the field today. That's something that will definitely kind of let me know how they've been training, or how much they've been training on this when they're not playing their games.
So we are underway here at Stagg Field as the first touch there at midfield came from the Thunder. AJ Moyes there with the touch to the right side. Trying to run quickly up ahead there for the Thunder was number 14 in the navy blue, and Shane Copland, the sophomore from Overland Park, Kansas. As this one played downfield back in the defensive half of the Thunder and eventually cleared out by the boot of the netminder left to right. Lights will take effect here in a little bit here at Stagg Field fully as the sun begins to set behind the field, as this one will be out of play. And I believe, was there a foul away from the ball there, DJ, I believe?
A little foul on the back of Coe's leg as he was going to play the ball forward. Yeah, if you're just joining us, if you missed the top 15 women's soccer showdown between Hope College and these University of Chicago Maroons, they went to a 1-1 tie. Double overtimes are knotted off between the number 3 Maroons and number 15 Hope College squad that gave the Maroons a little early scare after the opening goal in that match, but Maroons were able to battle back in that first half, and then there were no goals after that. It's a nice touch.
As now for the Thunder, they take possession back along their right side. It's Copland, the sophomore. This one will go out of play for a Thunder throw-in. I mentioned this 3-5-2 formation that you're seeing from the Maroons, and the first time you're seeing this. Obviously a different strategy you're coming into that with that lineup formation. Back when you played, and kind of since you're still fairly just out of the program, is this kind of change surprising, or is this something that you're not shocked to see out of this Maroons team?
I wouldn't say it's surprising. They used it a couple times last season. It's something where they like to add a little bit more pressure up the field because one of their wingbacks on the near side can come up higher. As you see, Schofield's way up here on the field right now. Sometimes it happens with injuries. Sometimes the coaches just like the matchup. So I'm not surprised, but it's definitely something that doesn't happen that often.
I just want to be played back by the Thunder defense on their left side. As trying to make the play on that one for the Maroons was Ben Brandt. Brandt, the sophomore from locally in Lincolnshire, Illinois, product of Stevenson High School, the home of the Patriots. As the Thunder try to create a chance here, is moving nicely to his right there, and the shot going just wide was Captain Pollock, I should say, as the junior from Wheaton,
I believe, coming in from the left side.
So the first decent chance from the Thunder goes over the net out of play. Still no scores. We played just a few minutes of this first half. At the back end there, that's Sam Droblos, the junior defender from Austin, Texas. As now Maroons will have possession back on their left side defensively. And I mentioned with this team DJ in our pregame, the kind of how they like to run their offense between Lopez and Matthew Coe will be, assuming we mentioned their name plenty here throughout the night. Compared to the time that you were here just a couple, I'll finish my question in just a moment. As here comes Max Lopez in on the left side. Lopez with the left foot, and he shoots that one just wide.
Very unfortunate there.
Well, kind of right on cue to my question of talking about this offense with Max Lopez kind of leading the way. The 6'1" senior forward from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Compared to when you were playing with Max Lopez, what's been the biggest thing, maybe change-wise, you've seen out of Max Lopez that was for the better?
I think the thing that Coe and Lopez get a little better at every year in particular is they just get a little more mature. You can see that the decisions that they're making in the final third, the things that they're trying to do, they're the right decisions. When you're young, when you're a freshman, it happens to a lot of us, and sometimes you get a little nervous or a little antsy, or you're too excited, and you might cross a ball too early or challenge for something you don't need to or don't want to. I think as time's gone on, both of them have gotten a lot better at their decision making, where they need to be. I remember last year Lopez made a couple of runs in games that were, they're distracting runs to open up lanes for other people that were just beautiful runs, and I think that's really developed over their time in this program.
As this kick from the right side gets in towards the box. Header there. That one just wide of who we just talked about right on cue, Max Lopez. This one will go out for a goal kick.
He is a force in the air. He has been for several years. People always underestimate. Obviously, he's very tall, but people underestimate how high he can get and how well he times his jumps.
And Lopez played in all 4 matches, started all 4. 3 goals, 2 assists, 8 points so far on the young season. As it's been that dynamic duo of Lopez and Coe. The 2 seniors, one from Oklahoma, one from California, leading the way for the Maroons to their early unbeaten season mark so far of 3-0-1. And it's playing now in the defensive half are the Thunder. As that is number 17, Peter Wallen on that control, the junior from Bedford, Massachusetts. As Coe plays it, or I should say rather, beg your pardon, Lopez tried to play it up into the defensive half along the right side. Just played over 5 minutes here of this first half. Still no score early on here in this first half between the Thunder and the Maroons. Glad you're with us here on the Maroons broadcast. Now alongside former Maroons player number 28, DJ Wise, who has still had number 28 not worn since he's been done here. I'm Ryan Fay with you here on the call.
I believe that's just a coincidence, Ryan.
Well, I'm just saying, you heard it here first, okay? You heard it here first. We'll archive this, and when they do a tribute video, when that moment would come, they can play this audio saying they knew it when on September 12th, 2018. Yeah. I wonder if is it still like the 5-year rule that you gotta wait it out then, I guess. So you get that 5-year, retirement period, and then they consider for that, Ring of Honor, Hall of Fame type of deal. As up ahead with is Nate Johnson. Johnson, the junior from McLean, Virginia. Of course, being from the state of Virginia, I'm sure probably has a little worries about the hurricane affecting that area. And again, we send our thoughts and prayers to all those that are going to be affected by Hurricane Florence in the upcoming days. Hope everybody out there, if you are to staying safe. As Coe looks to shoot it up towards Lopez and punching that one out forward, making the stop there was Biddlecombe, number 32 in goal.
Very nice reaction time from Biddlecombe there. He got off his 6-yard line very quickly to beat Lopez to that ball.
Biddlecombe, the starting goalkeeper, the sophomore from Kalamazoo, Michigan, with a nice punch save early on in this first half. Now it'll be out of play for a Thunder throw-in. Or did they call a foul, I believe? Looks like there was a foul called. Didn't hear a whistle originally.
No argument from the Maroons players, but a little too far away to see.
As this one towards the right edge of the box is trying to battle defensively, and clearing that one out was Jeff Schofield. Schofield, the senior from Oberlin, Ohio. Eight minutes of this first half played, no score. As this one look out to the Maroons bench. Jonah Moore there on the bench with the one-handed save, sort of. As this one playing along the right side with a nice touch pass there was number 8 and Sean Dunlop, the junior from Oakton, Virginia. As Maroons take control back on their right side defensively. As Scott Licht plays it up along the right side. I was looking there for Vicente Matus. Matus, the freshman from Portugal. And this one going out of play for a Wheaton throw-in. So DJ, with almost 9 minutes played, obviously still no score yet. Early impressions here from the Maroons so far.
Little scattered from the Maroons. I think they're still getting used to the shape, trying to figure out where the angles are, getting a little familiar where everyone's going to be, particularly with Renato out tonight, having played a couple of matches. I think there's just a little bit of, I wouldn't call it skittishness, just a little bit of unfamiliarity.
As you mentioned, this is the first time this season that this starting 11 is playing under that 3-5-2 formation as this one deflects out of play for a Thunder throw-in. And being a former player, not being too far removed from this Maroons team, as you just graduated a couple of years ago, when you adjust to a formation like that for the first time in a game in early on in a season, how difficult is it as a player if you are going to make that formation change?
It can be difficult because no matter how you want to replicate it in practice or how many times you want to practice it, depending on how the other team comes out, depending on how they want to pressure you, it's going to be different. Oh, that's a very nice back heel there.
And right on cue there, and trying to get it through was Adeo's son.
It's a very underrated save from Biddlecombe. That ball took a slight deflection as it was going to the box. He had to adjust his legs to kick that one away.
And Adeo's son, the junior from New York, with almost an A-plus opportunity. He's going to be the one to take this corner kick for the Maroons on the far side. Daleson on the year has 2 points and has had 1 goal so far in this early 2018 season. He takes his corner kick into the box, and that one deflects off, I believe, of a Thunder defender. That one a one-hop in, and making the late adjustment on that one was Biddlecombe.
Sorry, to finish my point from earlier, I think no matter how much you practice it, it does take a little time in the game just to adapt to what's going on around you. Every game's unique, so I think adding the formation adds a little bit in. I expect to see them sort of clean up some of these small, slight mistakes or a little bit of the sloppiness as the game goes on.
And as the Thunder with control, that's Copeland. As that one handed off, as trying to make the chance there was number 26 and Ryan Melger, the sophomore from Portage, Michigan. Oh, and Adeo's son takes a tumble and no call. We play on. That a little bit of a forearm shove there, DJ. Not called.
Debatable call. Not a whole lot of argument from the Maroons. So
Adeo's son's arm went up asking for a whistle. Didn't get it. As he tried to make the play along that left side in the defensive half of the Thunder, just want to go out for a Maroons throw-in. This one crossed over to the near left side for Johnson.
Ooh.
That one goes out of play for a Thunder throw-in.
And that's the kind of thing I'm talking about there. You can see that Schofield out here, the wide left back, takes a run up the field. Johnson's looking for him to come back. That's the kind of thing that could happen at the early on when you're a little unfamiliar with the system and where your players are going to be.
So far, 4 total shots from the Maroons, only 1 for the Thunder. 2 shots on goal for the Maroons out of those 4 total shots so far here in this first half. Under 33 minutes to play of this first half, still no score. Alongside former number 28 of the Maroons, DJ Wise, Ryan Fay with you here on the Maroons Broadcast Network, powered by the Illinois Media School. I want to give a shout again to our great camera work of Tim Helms up top, who had to climb up the stiff ladder. He made it up there okay. It's a matter of him coming down after the match. And the great producer and Dan Obi over to our right.
You can only imagine that gets a little harder as winter sets in and the ladder becomes more. I
think it's a good thing that Timmy didn't hear that comment there coming from you, DJ. So it's like it's like when you climb a ladder. You feel great when you get up there and you're on top of a roof of a house or wherever, and then you realize you got to come down and you have to think to yourself, how am I getting down? As this one played there and trying to make the touch, and that was Schofield. Goes out for a throw-in for the Maroons and Matus, and actually he won't be the one to take the throw-in. It'll be Schofield to do the honors instead. A little tic-tac-toe action as this one goes to Daleson on the left side, and I believe the offsides flag went up, and it did.
Very nice effort from Mateus there. The little flick in was very, very nice touch into Daleson. Unfortunately, just a little bit too far up the field.
You know, being a former player, and we've been talking about this new formation, that 3-5-2 we're seeing the Maroons go with here tonight. You know, as a player, when you were here with the Maroons, did you have a particular formation that you favored more than the other?
You know, personally, no. I think whatever formation you think is going to work, if you've practiced it and you're comfortable with it, that's what you go with. I mean, we mostly play the 4-3-3. Even this season, we've mostly played the 4-3-3. It's sort of the most common system in soccer these days. But if you think something's going to work and you feel comfortable with it, then I think that's the formation you should go with. So yeah, personally, never had a preference for a specific formation. Just different advantages and disadvantages to each.
Nice job, Willis, with the touch there. That one goes out for a Thunder throw-in. Approach under 30.5 minutes of this first half. No score. Between two unbeaten teams here early on in 2018 between the Thunder and the Maroons. As this one a bad touch there. As this one trying to create the opportunity for the Thunder was Sean Dunlop, and I know you were kind of pointed that one about the pass. You kind of read that one coming right away, as this one will go out of play for a goal kick.
Very nice high pressure from the Thunder here. They're sending 6-7 players up the field to pressure as the Maroons are playing out through the midfield, so they're really trying to take advantage of that space on the upper end of the field. We'll see if they can keep that pressure up as the game wears on, but so far it's done a pretty good job unsettling the Maroons on that part of the field.
As this goal kick right to left goes past midfield. Getting the header on that one was Capitosto. And play along the left side. Thunder will take possession and control back. Centering pass up ahead, and a nice sliding play there made by Schofield and cleared out by the Maroons defense. Thunder still with control. Dunlop, as this one, he passes over to Melger. Centering pass from Copland. And trying to get the shot in there and making a touch with the right hand. Nicely done in net. Katsimpoulos with the ranging save to keep this a scoreless 0-0 score with 28:45 to play.
We're at a bit of an odd angle in the booth here, but that certainly looked like it was on target. Very nice save.
So it'll be now the Thunder's first corner kick of the night. Well, it's basically full effect here at Stagg Field with the sunset behind us. On a gorgeous night, though, here at Stagg Field. Cloudless and no humidity.
These are the kind of nights you love playing in. You know, these guys are in preseason right now. School hasn't started yet. They get to wake up, practice, get ready for the game with nothing but soccer on their minds. And these are the kind of nights with the lights on that you love to play in.
And having something upside on their mind and trying to make the attempt here is Coe, and he buries it.
What a finish from Coe. That's a great ball from Adeus. That's perfectly rolled into his path, and that is such a composed finish from Coe. That is lovely counter-attacking play right there.
Adeosun will get the assist, and Cole gets the G on the tally sheet, and it's 1-0 Maroons with 28:06 to play here in the first half. As you mentioned, an excellent touch there from Dio Adeosun.
Beautifully rolled into the path. You just got to lead. You just got to make sure you're not offsides as the lead striker, and that pass just needs to lead him a bit past the defenders. We all know Cole can fly. You just got to give him that bit of room, and it's a perfect ball for him.
So well placed from the junior from New York, New York, to the senior from Santa Monica, California. Coast to coast they come from, but they have the one mind sight to score there. Trying to stay on sides was Adeosun, but the offsides flag went up. I'm starting to feel a little more energy, you know, after that first goal. The Maroons show here after the little adrenaline rush now that they're getting.
Yeah, as I mentioned, I think it's not quite the early goal, but that's fairly early in the half, a little bit before, right around the half, halfway mark of the half. I think that's going to be really good for them to settle in here. Feel very confident about themselves. I expect to see the play pick up a little bit.
And this one hit back out towards midfield. Thunder keep possession, however, as with this touch is number 9 and Andrew Wade, the senior from Winchester, Virginia. Thunder reset, and now want to go out of play for a throw-in. Under 27 minutes to play. Just joining us, a Matthew Coe goal. As what is our difference here on the score sheet? With a great setup from Dio Deo's son. And it was just Matthew Coe and the goalkeeper to beat. As the Thunder here on the left edge try to answer, and a tumble is taken, no call is made, and it'll be a goal kick for the Maroons.
It's a good recovery run from Droblos there. The right back got caught a little bit too high. Easy throwing over his head. Very nice covering by Droblos.
So Katzenpaulis now will boot this one end to end. The sophomore from Harrison Township, Michigan. Adeo's son with the touch and cleared out by the Thunder. You mentioned how, and we mentioned this kind of in our pregame segment before we got started here tonight, as that want to go out to play for a throw-in, how, this Wheaton Thunder team, was a perennial offensive, powerhouse coming, into last season. They were very successful last year, and now they come in this year with some questions on offense, and we're seeing a lot, not that necessarily like go-to offensive attackers. This one is going to be booted back out, and the Maroons take control. What are you seeing from Wheaton College early on that, you see it from this offense from last year to this year? What do you like from Wheaton College early on, and what things do you want, if they are to change it against this Maroons defense that's proven very stout, what would they need to do?
I think I don't think they've been terrible today. I think it's a bit of an issue with control and possession in the half. They've gotten a couple decent looks on goal. I believe that Shane Copland had a really nice shot that Katzenpaulis blocked. I think Whalen's did a pretty decent job holding the ball, but the big thing is you can see right now how deep most of their team is, right? It's just Whalen with about 20 yards of space between him and the midfielders. He's really got to be responsible for holding the ball up to allow them to get further up the field. If you can also catch the Maroons on a break, there's only 3 defenders back there. There's a little more space to run in. So I think maybe at one point a switch from that hold-up play to someone running in behind might behoove them a little bit. Right now, the Maroons can collapse on Whalen when he needs to come back to pick up the ball. They have a feeling he's not going to beat them in behind for pace. I think if you toss someone in or at least push one of your wider midfielders up to try and run in behind that space, you might be able to open it up a little bit more.
Yeah, that's the great insight only you can get here on the Maroons Broadcast Network from former Maroons soccer player DJ Weiss, who wore number 28, and a whistle and a foul as the attack was developing for the Thunder.
There's no complaint, but I think that's a bit of an unfortunate call there. Johnson didn't do anything to him. I don't know if he tripped over him or tripped over himself, but a little bit of an unfortunate foul there. It's in a dangerous spot to give it up, too.
Yeah, not too far from the 18, and Thunder players discussing strategy here, as we'll see. Taking the kick perhaps will be number 10 in Jacob Kapentayuk. Along there discussing what could be happening here. AJ Moyes, number 18 in the navy blue. It'll be Kapentayuk to take the kick. It goes in and oversails every Thunder header there. This low shot gets through, but wide, and it'll be out for another goal kick. And a 1-0 score for the Maroons off of a Matthew Coe goal. And that Coe goal, say that 5 times fast, was his 5th on the season. As the goal kick gets towards the midfield line.
That makes Coe and Lopez now responsible for 8 of 11 goals scored by the Maroons this year.
Quite the hefty ratio from that dynamic duo, as this one making an attack in towards
Very
that
nice
box
there.
As that was Whalen. This is Maroons defense staying disciplined, and a good header there to get that one out of the box.
Excellent defense there from Ben Brandt. Drops in, makes a lovely tackle just on the edge of the box, and then continues to drop in and blocks the ensuing cross.
And here come the Maroons, perhaps on a counterattack. It's Max Lopez in control. You know it can be dangerous when he touches the ball. A shot in! DJ jumps out of his chair. I can't blame him. Max Lopez, some long distance, makes it 2-0 Maroons. Wow.
What do you... You just tip your hat to a shot like that. He's 20, 23 out. You've got no options. You're collapsing as a defense. You've done the right thing. You forced him to either pass it off or take a shot from 24, and he just buries it on you. Those are shots that as a defender you just tip your cap to.
So right before that goal happened, we mentioned that Coe and Lopez were 8 of 11 in terms of the goal stats for the Maroons. Now making 9 of 12. That's an even 75% ratio with those two guys on the score sheet for the Maroons. 2-0 against the Wheaton College Thunder. And you're back in your seat now. I'm glad to see you're okay. I got worried about the fall there for a moment. Can't say I blame you, though. Excellent shot. Excellent execution by Max Lopez.
I'd have jumped up the same way if I was still on the field like that. I've done that before.
Again, of course, for those tuning in, DJ graduated from this Maroons soccer team back in 2016, just a few seasons apart. Still has that adrenaline rush as that soccer player, having played formerly with Max Lopez and Matthew Coe. And obviously with this being their senior campaigns, the whole program as a whole, not just seeing them on the pitch, but, they're going to be sorely missed regardless.
Absolutely. They've made an impact from the first year they came in here. Coe and Lopez by game 3-4 their freshman year were starters, major contributors in that season, and it's only continued and gotten better since. So no doubt they will be missed. I'm pretty sure Coe's 2 assists off of the record right now for total assists over a career.
Yeah, I believe that made him his second one. So I think he's at the one to tie, and then he'll need the other to have the record then for himself.
Yeah, Pat Berry holds the record at 26.
May break the record of former Maroon soccer player Pat Berry, who has 26.
Pat Berry was our first All-American in program history as well.
And Berry was a first All-American in Maroons program history. Shout out and a thank you to the great stats from Nate Lundquist and the PA announcer here at Stack Field. He was working hard over at women's soccer, and he made the trek over here and made it in time for kickoff. A lot of work behind the scenes that the folks you may be seeing don't get to see, that and the great work of Nate, Nicole, and Dan. Can never thank them enough for their hard work. As this one on the great tackle there from Matu says Adeosun tries to backtrack it, and they do for a moment, but a nice takeaway as this one is Coplin. Coplin to the right side, who he was looking there for his teammate in Whalen. And now the Maroons play it back in their own end.
You can see the confidence now in the Maroons team. It's a little weird considering, I don't know if it has to do with system. Both goals come off of heavy counterattacks, but you can see the confidence now. And if you're a Thunder player, with Coplin picking that pass off, that's the kind of thing you can't do right now. You just went down 2. It's still the first half. You pick a nice pass off in the midfield when Brandt falls asleep a little bit, and you give it right back immediately. You got to put some kind of pressure. You've got to hold the ball a little bit. You got to settle down. Otherwise, it could get a lot worse.
Isaiah Holquist set to check on in, along with number 27 and Carter Romeo. So coming on out then will be Josh Schofield. And looks like also coming on out, we'll get the number on the second player in just a moment. It looks like Nate Johnson also comes out as well. So those are the only substitutions off of that blown whistle. As we have 19 minutes to play. 2-0 is our score in favor of the Maroons. As falling down on that one was Lopez, trying to center himself up in the box. And coming up to
from Droblos.
And DJ, you mentioned Renicu coming up, and you're seeing the defense also get more aggressive here, I feel like, especially after that second goal where, you mentioned this confidence is really boosting now with the Maroons, especially after that tremendous goal from Max Lopez.
Yep. And you can see it getting worse here as you see the gap between Wheaton and his midfielders growing even larger now. As the Maroons grow in confidence, continue to hold the ball more, continue to be more confident in possession, the gap just keeps getting bigger as the Thunder keeps sinking deeper. And I don't really see it changing anytime soon.
Long shot out there from newly checked in Isaiah Holquist is stopped by the netminder in Biddlecombe. On the left side for the Thunder and trying to make the play on that one, Scott Lick, the sophomore from Jonesboro, Tennessee. As this one will go all the way towards the right side for Katzenpalus to scoop that one on up. Holquist now with the touch to Romero. Both guys just checked in a few moments ago, as we mentioned. And out of play for a Maroon throw-in. Wind not much of a factor here tonight. Nice calm breeze out of the southeast direction. It was also like that in the women's soccer match, if you joined us for that one earlier, which ended in a 1-1 tie between the Flying Dutch that ranked 15th in the nation and the Maroons that ranked number 3.
Another good read from Droblos. He can really, like I said, he can really start to look to read these check-ins from the striker because he knows that's the only way the ball's going. It's not going over his head.
And you mentioned as well as this one gets cleared back into the defensive half of the Maroons how, you mentioned that gap between Wheaton, who's essentially at midfield, when the attack is presented by the Maroons. And right on cue, as we talk about attacks in the Maroons, it's Carter Romeo. Oh, he wanted to take the left foot on it, but he skies it just too high, and it goes out for a goal kick.
It's very nice tracking back by Sean Dunlop there. You got to throw something at an attacker, whether it's to throw his cross off, his shot off, get a deflection. That's a great angle he takes, and he throws Carter off enough to put it over the bar.
Joey Sapikiotis will now come on in for the Thunder, and also on in there is Tyler Robbins, number 12. So those are the substitutions for the Thunder off of that whistle. The kick there by Holquist. Adeosun with a nice takeaway. Adeosun into the box. Oh, he wanted to go with the right foot to the near post, but that one too far to his left.
I think he tried to toe punt that one. That sometimes can happen to you when you toe punt the ball. It goes in a direction you were not expecting. He does a great job on the takeaway. I think his second touch there just cuts his angle a little too much. Kind of took away the far post from his shot.
Yeah, and Biddlecombe, to his credit, kind of just stood his ground there, didn't even get, phased by that toe punt attempt that you just mentioned a moment ago. Didn't try to kind of reach for that far post and try to dare him to go there. Kind of just stayed square to Adeosun, and hence the shot going too far to Adeosun's left. As this one punched through there by Drew Beamer, the freshman from Cranberry, New Jersey. I'm sure that town loves its cranberries come Thanksgiving time. Coming up, I enjoy the great town names that you sometimes come across with teams, whether it's home or away. Had a player, and I'll get to it in just a moment, as this one along the right side, centering in towards the box, making the play. There is Romero, and he scores! That one, I believe, took a deflection off of Biddlecombe, and Romero with the left foot makes it 3-0 Maroons.
Let's give it a second here. He's going over to talk to his assistant. The assistant raised his flag for offsides on the initial cross. The debate here is going to be whether Adeosun affected the play or not when that ball went all the way across to Romero.
Good check there, DJ, on that, and they are going to wave it off.
Call, yep.
So it will be no goal from Carter Romero, and we stay at 2-0.
I'm surprised the assistant was a little more forthcoming with that. You can keep your flag up there, but definitely did see his flag go up on the initial. I was
going to note that the flag. I thought I saw it go up for a moment as Biddlecombe makes the jump stop there. How he kind of it was like a hesitation, like did he mean to keep it up, and then he kind of went down rather quickly with it. So
it's a quick discussion. So he's clearly very firm in his decision.
Yeah.
Definitely thought it was offside, so I'm as surprised as you are that the flag didn't stay up for some reason.
I think he was, unless he was anticipating another whistle from another official, perhaps, as to why he put it down so quick. But otherwise, I would have agreed as that one will be for a Maroon throw-in. That was kind of like the quick check of, having it up and then just down like that. Probably was within a split second.
Don't know the exact rules of officiating, but yeah, that one's a strange one for me.
As now the Thunder try to create their own opportunity now. Haven't been able to mention many of that here other than one.
And there you can see the issue, right? He breaks through the midfield line.
Yep.
He's got one option in Whelan and one coming up the right side here in Copland, but it takes too long. Copland's coming from so deep on the field that there's no outlet pass for him to go to, and he gets closed down by Capitosto in the midfield.
Peyton Lane, number 18, and Kyle Rourke, number 24, come on in. Rourke, the freshman from Kansas City, Missouri, and Lane, the freshman from New York, New York. We were just talking about town names a moment ago, and we mentioned Cranberry, Pennsylvania. In the women's soccer game, we had a player on the side of, I want to say it was the Flying Dutch of Hope College, where the town is called Rancho Santa Margarita, California. I had never heard of that town. So I'm thinking that is the official home bar of Santa Claus after he drops off his gifts for kids on Christmas. You got to think about it you have to think about it for a moment.
It's an interesting take.
I mentioned this earlier, and our producer Dan Obi just kind of shook his head at me. He's probably actually doing that now, even though I can't see him to a wall.
It's funnier to me because I've been to Rancho Santa Margarita multiple times.
Okay.
I'm also from Southern California, so
okay.
The area doesn't really quite fit with what you're imagining in your head.
Okay.
But I can see where the joke's coming from.
Okay, you see where it's okay. I'm just glad you understood where I was coming from. And you had a chuckle. You know what? That's a win for me in my book. I'm okay with that. As this one goes out of play for a Maroons throw, and I try to. Those are the nuggets I always try to provide here on the Maroons Broadcast Network.
You got to keep it light.
Regardless if you enjoy it or not, is almost another chance there for Max Lopez on the left side of the box. Kind of going back to that, I've actually when I've seen the archives of games and through Facebook Live and all that, as this one plays back into the Maroons defense. People actually are curious where that specific town is in that state. Is it by Los Angeles, San Diego, and
it's a little bit south and a little bit inland of Los Angeles.
Okay,
a little bit more. It's Orange County area.
Okay, it's not too far away then. Okay, as this one goes out of play for a goal kick.
It's been a while since I've been back to California, so
right.
Geography is still correct.
That's why we do always have the Google Maps at our disposal if we ever need it. As this one cleared out to the left side.
Yeah.
It'll be a Thunder throw-in, and I'm actually doing you the honor of just double-checking.
Don't embarrass me if I'm wrong.
Okay, well, I have the location, and you said southeast?
Wow.
Correct?
That's what I think.
You are correct.
Okay.
Not too far from Irvine, I should say. Excuse me.
Irvine?
Yeah, Irvine. Well, you're from California. Irvine. No,
it all looks.
No disrespect to the folks there.
It all looks the same. Yeah.
But you were correct on your analysis of where the town is located.
I'm glad
you got your Southern Cal geography down. So congrats on the trivia.
That's not such a good. Never mind.
This one goes south for a Thunder throw-in. It'll be Mr. Wingate, checking on in along with number 24 and Henry Naylor.
One thing I want to note is it looked like Joyce Sabakiotis also came in up top for Whelan, so I'd really like to see if the Thunder can play some balls in behind, maybe try and push the Maroons back, just let him run on to a couple balls in behind Droblos, in behind the defense, and force them to do a little work in behind. We'll see if they're able to do that.
Throwing along the far side of the field, and the Maroons try to rip possession away. They do, and I think one of the things so far is we have just over 9.5 to play in this first half, DJ, is just the, not only just time of possession, but the quality of possessions we're seeing from this Maroons team compared to the visiting Wheaton College Thunder.
It's complete control at this point. I mentioned it was, it was messy, sloppy earlier, and was a little concerned that they were getting used to the system, with the goal, getting a little confidence at about 27 minutes. I think that really springboarded it, and yeah, now it's complete possession in the offensive half, and Wheaton's just trying to hold on at this point.
It's off of a whistle and a foul that went on the Thunder's set piece coming up now for the Maroons. 2-0 is our score, 9 minutes to play. In favor of the Maroons, they lead. Alongside former Maroons player, the great number 28, DJ Weiss. Ryan Fay with you here on the Maroons Broadcast Network. And the fake touch, and the shot goes wide, as that was Capitasto on the kick. Too far to his left and out of play. It'll be a goal kick.
Yeah, design cross to the back post. It looked like, I'm looking for the numbers here, it looked like we had a little bit of confusion between two Maroons players there. Kyle Rourke and Carter Romero got a little jumbled together at the back post there.
Yeah, I kind of saw Romero when he went towards that, he kind of just put his arms up. I was like, should I have been here? As now the play inside the midfield circle, and
it's great pressure here from the Maroons. A little unfortunate on the tackle there. It's a good turn.
And as you mentioned, I guess trying to redeem himself from that play off of that kick there was Rourke. As the Thunder now, and a couple of nice moves there, nifty moves from Wingate out of play off the kick to the left side, and to the right rather, of Katzimpalis for the goal kick.
Yeah, most of their offense has come from that side. A couple cut-ins and a couple shots from that side, but you have to say that's another half chance there. He takes a shot from 20 out. It ends up being a dribbler to the for a goal kick.
10 shots to 3 in favor of the Maroons here in this first half. So needless to say, the offensive opportunities have favored the home team in white, as it's Romero trying to keep the possession alive.
And again, to be fair to the Thunder, that only really started to swing in one direction after that goal in the 27th minute.
I was going to say, the ball is coming in front of you there.
Yeah.
Now make that catch, DJ, next time.
Again, the Thunder had a really nice chance about 22nd minute or so from Shane Copland, and then Coe scored his goal, and it's been all Maroons since then.
Get a whistle and a foul there against the Maroons. Under 7 minutes now to play. 2-0 is our score. Goals from, well, you can guess it, Max Lopez and Matthew Coe. Coe off of a great setup from Dio Adaleson, and Max Lopez with an absolute laser that almost made DJ fall out of his chair. And myself included.
I'm not that far removed. I'm not that unathletic yet.
You have to be athletic to fall off a chair.
Well, if you're jumping up and lose your balance, maybe.
Well, yeah. True statement. You didn't lose your balance. I will give you credit on that one. I was just making sure you didn't fall on top of me with that happened, because I saw you get up and I'm like, you okay?
A little bit of good possession here from the Thunder. And I jinxed it.
Welcome to the world of broadcaster jinx.
Caster curse?
Yeah, it's the broadcast jinx, as we call it. I know you're just freshly removed from the pitch, but as this the centering attempt there goes wide, and a bit of a shove there off the right arm from number 21 Bryce Millington, the sophomore from West Orange, New Jersey.
Yeah, he's got his arms up, but that's a foul.
I think he was trying to say perhaps his opponent was going for the Oscar nomination, or perhaps, but I think that was, as you mentioned, that was kind of clear with the right arm shove, trying to make contact with the ball there. 5.5 now to play in this first half. 2-0 Maroons. And they come in with a record of 3-0-1. And Wheaton College 2-0-1. Both teams unbeaten. Only one team ranked number 2. That's the Maroons. Touches along the right side for the Maroons. They bring it past midfield. They find it there to Millington. And a nice pass set up along the far right side. And the Maroons now look to center it up, as Romero was trying to streak on in. And calling for a handball there was Lane. Doesn't get it. And now here come the Thunder, perhaps on a counterattack. As we mentioned, not many navy blue jerseys back there, is trying to keep it back in play is number 37. And Joey Sapiotis, as this one will go out for a quick corner kick. They're trying to catch the Maroons off guard.
They have a little bit. It's a good tackle there. I can't see immediately the number.
And they're going to have corner kick number 3 now as they go back-to-back corners here with under 4.5 to play in this half.
It's a good reaction time there to get out. That they did catch them a little bit sleepy there. Nice tackle to break that up.
And that header there goes wide off the corner. It'll be a goal kick, or are they going to call another corner? It's going to be another corner. So that's 3 straight corners in a matter of about 30 seconds. It's the 4th corner now for the Thunder here in this half and in this match. And here comes the 4th corner attempt. Header there stays in the box. Possession still alive, and the good clear out there from that header there was Ben Brandt.
It's good pressure there from the Thunder.
And it's Brandt once again in control and trying to play up ahead there. They were looking there for
a really nice chance to send him in behind.
Yeah, that was George Bronco they were looking for
on the ball.
Bronco, the freshman from Sao Paulo, Brazil,
has taken it back now.
And it's Rourke with the control, and then it goes out of play from that attempt, but the offsides flag goes up as we approach 3 minutes to play here in this first half. We'll have our halftime break, and then we'll get you set for second half action between these Maroons and Thunder. We'll get DJ's thoughts on the first half and look ahead to second half action a little bit as well when this first half ends. The Maroons kind of finishing, or I should say rather starting a big home slate for the month of September. They'll have back-to-back matches this weekend against Malacaster and Loras College on the 15th and 16th this weekend. And just like tonight, they are expecting gorgeous weather this coming weekend too. As you mentioned, DJ, nothing like that time of the year where right before you start school and classes, you just get up and go to practice and you get the great weather. As fall is starting to become upon us here in the Chicago area.
Yeah. It made fall my favorite time of the year every year.
Well, that was because it was always soccer season for you, right?
Yeah, mostly. I still like fall a lot. But yeah, mostly the soccer.
I mean, it's also pumpkin spice season coming too. So I didn't know if that was the direction you were going to go with on that. But you went. I was going to assume soccer first, as you being a former player here at Stackfield for the Maroons. But needless to say, my first assumption was correct. Get to that time too when you get into the heart of soccer season, when as a fan or when you're in the booth, it becomes sweater weather.
I'm not looking forward to getting colder, no matter what. No matter what.
I think I think it's called the Farmer's Almanac that has predicted it to be a very cold winter this year.
Yay.
You really said that with much gusto there, DJ. Yeah. 80 seconds to play in this first half. Well, we can enjoy the nights like these for now. Don't worry. We can always look forward to the cold later on in the coming months. So this attacking play there is, again, trying to make the contact there with Bryce Millington with the right arm. No call there, but it's the second time we've seen that from him here tonight. As we now have 1 minute to play here in this first half, and a rather dominant first half in terms of control from the Maroons. And this one playbacks to Kevin Quigg. Go ahead, DJ.
That ball in behind was well handled by Biddlecombe again. He's handled everything that's come his way that is, relatively dealable. That he could deal with. He's handled it very well tonight.
Ball played at midfield.
As we nice header one there.
30 seconds to play in this half.
And that's the kind of thing you want if you're the Thunder. You need to win that ball to get it out of your half, to get up the field, to get some sort of pressure up there.
Millington in control with the touch on the left side. 20 seconds now to go in the half. Romero with the chip up ahead. And trying to make that one there was Capitasto. With 10 seconds to go, the countdown will begin. Romero on the quick throw-in. And a nice kick to Romero. He wanted to go for the nut. Not even close. That one goes way out to the track and out of play. And that is how half number one comes to an end. But a dominant first half from the Maroons as they go into the halftime break here with a lead of 2-0 over the Wheaton College Thunder. We'll come back in a little bit for DJ's thoughts on that first half and look ahead to second half action between the Maroons and the Thunder. We'll be back for a little bit. here on the Maroons Broadcast Network.
I think that's a pretty easy answer for all of us. This is like this year's national championship. We came close the past couple years, especially last year. Heartbreakingly short in Greensboro, but that is like the simple goal of this team is a national championship.
I have no doubt we have the team, the personnel to do that, and I think the passion to do it because we came so close last year, and a blown call and a few missed chances and some bad luck really just sent us home. And we want to be back in Greensboro. I have no doubt we can do it.
The University of Chicago athletics program aims to enrich the life of the whole person and is invested in competitive excellence. Your contributions to the Friends of Maroon Athletics enhance the student-athlete experience for all teams. Help us build on the already exceptional foundation of success for which UChicago is recognized. Support UChicago student-athletes by making a gift to Friends of Maroon Athletics today.
When you're in college, you kind of find out who you are. And throughout your 4 years, you develop yourself with all the different experiences, which leads into dedicating yourself to your community, to your family. So when you're a senior, you're coming out a well-rounded person.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests outside of the classroom and outside of the court or field. I've had the ability to get into different activities and organizations, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
Getting to be involved in a lot of different things, ranging from obviously being a student athlete to getting involved with my campus and my community, and not only being allowed to do that, but being encouraged to do that.
The opportunity to be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, to have the professors know me on a personal level, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
Being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference. It really helps you develop thinking from other people's perspectives and looking at problems from outside the box.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
I've definitely learned how to really be myself. I found out, yes, I am actually a good leader, and yes, I can actually put myself forward because I am good enough. I can do it.
Coming in to college, I just wanted to get good grades and to do well. But it also made me realize that I have a lot of different career goals, and I've learned so much about myself that I was always like growing and changing.
When I got to college, it forced me to step up and become more of a leader, and I think that was something I had the capability of doing, and forever grateful that being at a Division III school gave me that opportunity.
You have to dedicate your time in the classroom, you have to dedicate your time in the gym, on the field, on the court.
Our coaches and the entirety of the athletic department, they valued the student athlete going out into community and trying something new and getting involved in campus life.
You can get involved in so many different things. So the possibilities are truly limitless for what you can do with your college experience. You can kind of make it your own in the Division III setting. So I would encourage people who want to have flexibility to pursue different interests and passions to go D3.
The University of Chicago athletics program aims to enrich the life of the whole person and is invested in competitive excellence. Your contributions to the Friends of Maroon Athletics enhance the student-athlete experience for all teams. Help us build on the already exceptional foundation of success for which UChicago is recognized. Support UChicago student-athletes by making a gift to Friends of Maroon Athletics today.
Back with you here on the Maroons Broadcast Network. We're here with you at halftime. It is a 2-0 lead for the University of Chicago Maroons over the visiting Wheaton College Thunder. Alongside former number 28 of the Maroons, DJ Wise, Ryan Fahey with you here on the call. And DJ, before we get the second half started, pretty much controlled dominance from the Maroons in that first 45.
Right after about, I'd say, the 20th minute, Thunder had a really good chance, was saved by Katsampalis, and from that point on, pretty much all Maroons possession, followed by the counterattack goal and then the laser from Lopez. So after that, it was complete dominance.
Yeah, 10 shots total for the Maroons, 4 of them on goal. Do have 4 offsides, though, but hey, when you get those, if the offsides tallies come up, that just tells you how many offensive opportunities you're getting, and there's surely an abundance of those in that first half of play.
It's a little irresponsible as the count continues to rise for your individual strikers, but it is a good sign of where the ball is on the field.
Yeah, and you look, and as we look ahead here to this second half of play, if there's anything you want to see changed and or improved upon with this Maroons team with this 2-goal lead, what would that be?
For the Maroons team, do exactly what you were doing at the end of the half. Don't come out like you did in the first 15, where it was a little, it was a little shaky. Possession in the midfield wasn't great. That may or may not be a result of pressure coming from the other team. But if you can settle possession in the midfield early, get it out wide, and push up the field like you did at the end of the half, that's what you need to do. Bury them in their half, just like at the end, and continue to pressure them.
I'm kind of glad you mentioned that, because I was going to go into my next point of when we look at the side of the Wheaton College Thunder, that they've had a couple of opportunities, but nothing that was like an A or a golden chance by any means. But you mentioned this quite a bit in that first half, and I kind of want you to, just to elaborate on it more for maybe our viewers that may be just tuning in for the second half of our match here tonight, how when the Maroons in that later part of that first half got into their attack mode, as they were doing very frequently in that first 45, their lead forward for the Thunder and Peter Whelan for most of that first half before he came out as a sub, the gap between the rest of the 9 that were out there and him basically at the midfield line, it kept widening out per every attack that the Maroons were kind of building upon.
Yep, and that tends to build upon itself as time goes on, as you get more and more tired, more and more locked in your own half. And the problem with that is you're putting a lot of pressure on Whelan to hold the ball up, because when he's your only outlet, and he has to go against 1-2 defenders in a ton of space,
that were back there.
Sometimes 3. And even if he can hold it, it takes a while for his players to get up the field for him to have an outlet and then get further up. I really, really want to see Wheaton try and shake some things up if they're going to change this game up. I'd put some pressure on the Maroons this half in their defensive end. Try to throw them off in the midfield. Try to keep them from playing the ball wide to their outside backs and letting it go up the sidelines. Really put a little pressure, and then if you get the ball, play it in behind a couple times. Try and make them run back. Don't let them just pin Whelan there. Don't let them just bite on every short ball that comes into Whelan. Force them to run in behind a little bit. Force them to work. See if you can shake them off or shake their organization a little bit through that. If you keep doing the way you're doing, it's one-dimensional. It's right into Whelan. They can easily read it, and it's really, really long night for him.
So the Thunder now will be going right to left on your screen here. The visiting Thunder in their road navy blue uniforms with white trim and numbers, and their goalminder number 32, and Haston Biddlecombe is in the lighter shade of blue jersey, while the Maroons going left to right in their home white uniforms, the maroon trim and the gray numbers, and their goalminder in number 1 and Aaron Katsampalis is in the also light blue jersey with the white trim and numbers to correlate. Maroons will get the first touch here in the second half of the 45 minutes that will play, and we are underway here at Stagg Field for second half action. And you kind of mentioning this as well in that first half, that the first time we're seeing the Maroons in that 3-5-2 formation, in terms of having to be a new formation and kind of adjusting, as right on cue, Daleson with perhaps an opening attack, as this one deflects wide and out of play, but I think the whistle had gone prior to that second attack.
Yeah, caught Dio about a yard offsides there, I think.
As the goal kick will come, kind of to my point before, the attack had begun there for the Maroons. That 3-5-2 formation seems to be working just fine here as a new look here for the Maroons in this match.
Seems to have worked fine. As I mentioned, a little bit messy at the very beginning as I think they adjusted, but at this point they're very settled into it. They've been defensively very strong despite only having the 3 centrally there. And yeah, at this point you have to say that it's worked pretty well and allowed them to get pressure further up the field.
As the kick now coming from Biddlecombe. Goes to the near left side off the kick. You'd have to imagine as well, with the Thunder down by 2 here, how much more aggressive do they try to be, as nice aggressive play there, and keeping the touch there was Andrew Wade, as he wanted to go to his right, and a whistle goes and a foul, and a yellow card's been issued.
A yellow?
I believe they issued the yellow, and Did they not call the card? It looks like no card. It was just a hand for the foul.
I was going to say, I was hoping that wasn't a yellow. That would have been a soft yellow.
I caught the official going with his arm up at the last second. I thought he had went into his pocket for the card, but just a foul call on Wade.
Oh, nice move.
As this one cleared out and a whistle, and that one on the edge of the box is a foul.
I can't see exactly who that is. Give us a second there. Very nice move there. With it. Dragged it back with his right foot across and got tripped. That's Ryan Melger, looks like. Very nice move there. Draw the foul there. And a great opportunity here to get one back on the board.
I think that was also Vicente Matus who got called for the contact. So an excellent chance here just outside the 18. And this may be the best chance we've seen the Thunder have so far offensively tonight. In just a couple minutes of action here in this second half early on. Perhaps to take it is A.J. Moyes, number 18, the sophomore from North Carolina.
Is currently the leading goal scorer.
Who takes the touch. It's going to be the sophomore, and a great header off the defensive wall. I believe that was number 10 there, Matthew Coe. Who else? Getting an excellent contribution for the Maroons. That one defensively.
Another foul.
Now foul there is going to go on the Maroons once again. So that's the third foul now in just over 2 minutes of action here in the second half. Moving bodies in front as this kick goes in towards the left side of the box. The header there to center it back, and that one cleared out of the box by the Maroons defense.
Very nice positioning there from, it looks like, Scott Lick. That's exactly the spot you need to be to catch that header coming across, back across the box. Very nice discipline there.
As that one there, it's Lopez. Lopez with the touch. Oh, he wanted to go right up ahead there for Coe. Couldn't get it to him cleanly, though. As Lopez got it back for a moment, he was looking for a little give and go there with Matus, and that one will be scooped up by Biddlecombe. And again, every time Lopez or Coe touch that ball, you kind of just get more on the edge of your seat there because you never know what they're going to do with the touch. Not that you would know being a former, teammate of theirs, but... And that one, well, right on cue. Matthew Coe, speaking of him. Coe on the right side. Centers it off. And the shot goes wide.
Not a bad effort. Never really got his body set there. Mateus didn't. Have to be honest, I think Coe kind of got away with a foul there, but decent chance created.
And the freshman from Portugal with the shot wide to his left. Make that the 11th shot for the Maroons here tonight. As we played just about 5 minutes of action here in this second half. 2-0 still our score in favor of the number 2 ranked Maroons. Off to another excellent start to their season. A quick touch action there from the Maroons. It's Lopez. And they look up at for Daleson, but that pass just a little too much mustard on it. Thunder with control. It's Wade. And a lovely ball ahead there, but canceling that one out for the Maroons was Capitasto. Matus again. Finds Lopez. Ball up ahead to Coe.
Nice ball.
Lovely to Coe. Matthew Coe to his left. Matthew Coe, he lost possession, and great job there in that one-on-one battle from Tyler Robbins. Not very often are you going to be able to win a one-on-one battle defensively with Matthew Coe, as this one goes out of play for a Maroon throw-in. Daleson with a nice battle there defensively. The ball stays in along the far side. Thunder have possession for a moment. Maroons take it away at midfield. It's Coe. Centers it back over. Finds Brandt. One touch looking for a Daleson. Daleson, he get taken down in the box. He got tangled up. No call. We play on. Carter Romero with a shot. And Biddleston with an excellent save. Ball still alive. And a second and third stop don't work. And it won't work again either as the Maroons go up 3-0. And everybody joins in on the huddle from the bench on that one.
I believe that's Mateus' first goal.
And that is first official goal of the season, first official collegiate goal for the freshman from Portugal.
And I would imagine that is probably the first of many for him in his career here.
So Vicente Mateus with his first collegiate goal in his very young career. Congratulations, young man, to the freshman from Portugal. He gives the Maroons a 3-0 lead.
Got to give a lot of credit to Romero and Dio there after getting, taken down in a, potential penalty, questionable challenge there in the box. Whether it was or not is irrelevant. Carter stayed with it. A couple nice saves from the keeper there for the Thunder. Just a little unfortunate that it bounced back, but a very nice finish from Mateus to knock it in.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad you just brought up the couple of great saves there from Biddlecombe, because he was basically down on his side for multiple shot opportunities that came right at him, because the ball kind of squirted away from his possession for a moment. Romero had that second chance, and then Biddlecombe still had the left arm out to make the save while being on the ground, mind you, and then it just deflected over to Mateus, who just buried it into the back of the net with no doubt about that one on that shot.
Both of those first two saves were very, very nice. First one's a really strong arm to hold off that Romero shot. Second one's a great reflex save. Like I mentioned, he's pretty much done everything right with everything that he could actually deal with. There's, a little unfortunate with the rebound there and the nice finish, and there's nothing you can do about those first two goals. So he's tried his best to keep his team in it.
Seppi's coming up now for the Maroons and Daleson to have the ball. Goals from number 9, 10, and 11. So we're going down the roster order in numerical order for goals at the moment. At that rate, that would be Josh Schofield that's next. Former teammate of DJ. Josh would have been a sophomore for DJ's senior year. As this play to the right side goes out of play for a goal kick.
It is nice to see Josh out there starting this game. He's dealt with a lot of injuries over the last couple seasons. It's really good to see him healthy, see him starting, and see him playing most of the match. So really nice to see him back, fully fit, ready to go for his last season.
Josh, the 5'9" senior from Oberlin, Ohio. As this one will be a ball down the left side, but no navy blue around. Just white jerseys around the ball, and that's kind of been the theme here all night. In terms of talking about the net minding from the Thunder side, Katzenpauls really hasn't seen much tight action in his end of the field here so far tonight, and kind of hurdling one defender there was a Daleson. It looks like his left cleat may have got the head of number 12 in Robbins. Tyler Robbins down, and the medical trainer comes on out. And he may have taken a cleat to the back of the head. Daleson very apologetic after the fact, as obviously it was unintentional contact. And if you're a Daleson, you just kind of saw him, right in front of us, they're kind of lipping and saying, "My bad" on that, and looks like they maybe. Looks like they're going to put back some time on the clock, about 30 more seconds, we are told. 36:37, I believe. Yep, that's what they put up. And the official just said thank you, so.
Got to make a sub
Manners go all around here at Stagg Field.
Also going to make a sub here. Coming in is Michael Martins there.
Yeah, so Robbins comes out.
Hopefully he is all right.
So then maybe the concussion protocol that you kind of go through nowadays. Obviously head injuries, every precaution taken nowadays, and for the right reasons, obviously. And this one, a lovely ball up along the left side. And a couple players collide, and no foul called. The Wheaton bench jumped up in exclamation, asking for a whistle, didn't get it. We play on here at Stagg Field. That one, maybe a little bit of a questionable no call there, DJ?
Hold on.
Well, we'll answer that question in a moment. Is this one booted out of the way, and to the track it goes for a Maroon throw-in?
Unfortunately, I would say highly questionable. Looked to me like Droblos completely whiffed on his swing on the ball, made contact with the striker. That looked like a penalty to me.
And a whistle there as a Daleson goes down. And some of the Maroon players kind of putting their arms up there saying, you're going to call that, but not the one that was in our end a moment ago. As this kick from Adelson will come in at any second. Just over 35 minutes to play here in regulation. 3-0 Maroons with the lead. Goals from Lopez Co. and Marus to make the difference. Adelson with the shot.
It's a very nice ball in.
Didn't touch a white jersey, however. As this one stays on in, it's for Lopez. He ran into his own teammate, but the offsides flag went up. Yeah, Lopez and Co there were kind of was bunched up together as they were trying to still come away from that set piece from a moment ago from Adelson. As we continue action the other way now. It's passed over as that one way out of the play to the left side and the throw in coming. Quick throwing in towards the left side of the box. Trying to keep in play was number 18 in A.J. Moyes, and it'll go out for a corner kick. So the corner kick for the Wheaton College Thunder. It's their 5th corner now of the night. They had 4 back in the first half of play. And taking that corner is A.J. Moyes. Shorts it to the right side, and that one a nice touch there from number 10 in Jacob Kapentanyuk. A nice stop there from Katzenpals. Probably the best save so far he's made tonight, but all things considered, he hasn't had to make a lot of them.
That's a really big tackle for Martins there. I believe it's Dio is streaking out into the right side. A ton of space. If he doesn't pick that ball off, that's a lot of trouble for them.
Throwing for the Thunder. Again, the Maroons are heavy home slated here in the month of September. McAllister coming up on the 15th, followed by the very next day on the 16th this weekend to Loras College. There'll be some afternoon matchups we'll have for you here on the Maroons Broadcast Network, powered by the Illinois Media School. I know I get the weekend off from here at Stack Field, but DJ, you'll still be around, I take it, correct?
Most likely.
Okay, that's better than a no. As this one off the touch at midfield, possession will be won by Daleson, who's getting tackled. And do we get a call? I believe we did. Yes,
yeah,
and
it
looks like a card's come out, and then we have our first card of the evening. A yellow card will be issued as that one will go to number 10 in Jacob Kapentanyuk.
Yeah, just late on the slide there.
So Kapentanyuk will get issued the yellow card. The junior from Wheaton, Illinois, not far from Wheaton College where he grew up. Needless to say, a short commute to school. As Adelson had the touch on that one, attacking for a moment, and this lovely ball, that one just a hair too much out of the stretch for Lopez. As again, any chance that involves Max Lopez, it usually leads to good and greater things for this Maroons team.
The right idea with that ball, and I understand why it's left. You kind of got to leave the defender for dead. It's just rolling a little too fast for Lopez to catch up to it.
And this one, it's now Matthew Coe in control. Matthew Coe with the left foot. Matthew Coe! An excellent chance, but a better stop from Biddlecombe, and it'll go out for a corner.
Biddlecombe, once again, it's a very nice hand. Very nice save.
Going to have a substitution now for the Maroons. Nate Johnson going to come back in play. And coming on out will be Nico Capitasto. Corner kick now for the Maroons. This is, I believe, their first corner. I should say their second corner of the contest tonight. This one gets into the box. Header there goes wide, and it'll be out for a goal kick. But again, I think, we can't really iterate it enough. The chances and the great opportunities that this Maroons team has had, especially in that first half, and, to the shock of not a lot of people bleeding over into the second half.
Yeah. And just weren't enough changes from the end of the first half to the second for the Thunder. They started with a little bit of high pressure in the first 5 minutes, but I think they let the Maroons midfield settle in way too easily in the second half, and it's just been more of the same.
The touch there on the offense for the Thunder was Jespersi, the sophomore from Thousand Oaks, California. I won't test DJ's Google Maps knowledge on that town from California. We'll leave that one to the side. As Carter Romero along the left side here for the Maroons, centers the shot in, but goes wide. No Maroons were around for the ball. This one goes out for a Maroons throw-in. Coe to throw it in as we approach 30 minutes to play here in this second half of play. 3-0 Maroons. Lopez, Coe, and Madus with goals for the University of Chicago.
Ooh, that's a dangerous pass.
And that ball went a long way without even being touched by a foot. And the freshman from Portugal, Madus, creating that turnover. This one, it's Romero looking there for Lopez, and he is bodied away from that one.
Oh, look at him go.
He kept it in play. It's Coe now. Matthew Coe with a chance to his right, centering in, but he hits the side of the net out of play.
Just scuffs the cross there. That is relentless pursuit from Lopez, and that is unbelievable hustle.
Substitution now for the Thunder, and good to see Tyler Robbins coming back in, who suffered an injury when he collided with the Daleson earlier in the second half. As coming on now is Peter Whalen, number 17. Robbins, the St. Charles, Illinois product from the western suburbs of the Chicago area, product of St. Charles East. A little over an hour west of here. That's in light traffic coming out of the city, by the way. In traffic, you're looking at maybe at least 90 minutes. As it's Adeosun with the touch. Dio Adeosun, oh, trying to keep the touch. He still's got it. Gives it off to Matthew Coe. Coe with the left foot, centers it back. And the fake shot there from Lopez. Back to Coe. Coe bodied off for a moment, and he's taken down. No call. We play on. Shot deflected back. And it'll go out for a Maroon throw-in.
I got to be honest, I give him credit. I'm surprised Coe stayed on his feet there. You could have easily gone down there on the contact.
Very low center of gravity. And did Coe keep that one in? No, he didn't. The officials ruled that one out. And it'll be a goal kick for the Thunder. Low center of gravity, though, for Matthew Coe to stay balanced on that one there, DJ. As this one, a couple headers there from number 10 in Jacob Kapentanyuk. Kapentanyuk, who was issued a yellow card earlier in the match. Ball on the left side. And trying to keep that one in play there was Moyes. And a good takeaway there from the Maroons. Now it's Coe again. Adeosun. Adeosun, one of the fastest players on the team.
It's a nice move there from Melger.
And a lovely touch there as that one.
Great tackle from Lick.
Scott Lick, the sophomore from Jonesboro, Tennessee, with a lovely stop. Goes out for a corner kick for the Thunder. Their sixth corner of the night, but as you mentioned, DJ, a lovely play there defensively from Scott Lick.
Yeah, a bit of an opportunity out of nothing with Melger dribbling again. He's the one that drew the dangerous free kick earlier in this half. He makes another nice dribble, commits a couple defenders, and slips his teammate in behind. Nice recovery tackle from Lick to break it up.
Near left corner kick headed out by the Maroons defense. Kapentanyuk. Lovely ball in. A bicycle kick attempt. Doesn't work. Ball still alive in the box, and the Maroons get it out for a split moment. As Kapentanyuk still has control, lofts it up in the air. That one goes just wide. Wheaton wants a call. They're not getting it, and the Maroons clear out.
Yeah, views impeded here as to whether Katsapalas actually made contact with him or not.
I didn't think he did. I think it's because of the way that I want to say that was number 26 and Ryan Melger who fell down. I think he was going up for the header. I think it's just a little off balance. That is why the no call was issued, because I don't think, as you mentioned, I don't think if any very little contact with Katsapalas had occurred.
Yeah, Droblis was kind of blocking the view. I couldn't really see it.
This one will go out for a Thunder throw, and as a substitution now on both sides. Coming in for the Maroons is Kyle Rourke, number 24. As getting a well-deserved rest is Matthew Coe, who's got a goal to his credit here tonight. As this one goes out for yet another Thunder throw-in, but again, 3-0 our score in favor of the Maroons. Glad you're with us on this Wednesday night, a gorgeous Wednesday night here at Stagg Field. Winds blowing off the shores of Lake Michigan out of the southeast direction. From the far side to near side here. Alongside former Maroons soccer star DJ Weiss, Ryan Fahey with you here on the broadcast. Again, I want to shout out the great works behind the scenes from Nate Lindquist, Nicole Watkins, who was sitting over to our left, and we had to make space for in the second half. And Dan Obie, our fine producer. Timmy Helms up top on the camera. Not sure if he's getting down the ladder tonight, but can always jump later. It's about what would we say, a 50-foot drop?
I'm not going to comment on that.
You know Timmy as well as I do, I understand. He's okay with the ribbing. I know Dan's okay with the ribbing. Nicole's okay with the ribbing, so as the shot there is swallowed up by Katzimpoulos.
Took a little bit of a bounce there as Wade was getting ready to strike it.
Katzimpoulos will lay down the edge of the 18 and will boot it down left to right. Look up along the right side. That one hit off the head there of number 5, Michael Martins, the freshman from locally here in Bentonville, Illinois. And coming on as a sub now will be number 2, Mr. Wingate, the junior from Seven-Up Park, Maryland. Excuse me. Bit of a cheering section has started to develop here at Stagg Field. Looks like the volleyball team is returning the favor from the great chance that they got last night as Adeosun just ripped it over the top of the crossbar and long. Adeosun with an excellent chance. Just a little too much power underneath that boot.
Great cross from Rourke, and it just a little too excited. I think he just swung a little too hard, didn't get his foot over. It's a difficult technique to get your foot over that ball, but with that much time, it's a little bit wild.
The women's volleyball team on hand here to watch tonight's action. Returning the favor for the loud cheering morale that they got from the men's basketball team, members of the football squad, and the men's soccer team.
Great out
That was
night.
all inside the, as you mentioned, it was a great out night inside the Ratner Center as the women Maroons volleyball team took down number 11 Illinois Wesleyan in 4 sets last night. As we got a sub now as Peyton Lane will come on in for the Maroons. As the freshman and Vincent Madus will come on out. The freshman, I should say rather, is that Adeosun? That guy was Adeosun that came out, I apologize. So that's the correction. Adeosun's the one that checks out, so he'll get a breather. Madus stays in. As along the left side has just checked in is Wingate. It'll go out for a throw-in. And the Ratner Center was rocking last night for that 4-set victory for women's volleyball. And of course, being a former player, I'm sure you partook in the morale cheering at other sporting events.
Yeah, volleyball was our particular favorite. I know I made the reference to Gray Out Night, something that we one of the players came up with, I believe, my sophomore year, where we used to have these really old. It was sort of the standard set you'd get from the athletic department every year to like do post and pre-shower when you're going in after practice, and they were pretty old and beat up, sort of like stuff you would wear on Sunday when you're not planning to get out of bed.
Okay.
And one of our seniors just decided that we should all dress up in these grays and go to the women's volleyball game and just be as loud and obnoxious as possible. And we did it, and it was an amazing time, and it's been a thing ever since then.
I know there's quite a bit of Illinois Wesleyan fans that made the trip out here to the match last night, and they brought a decent crowd, but severely outnumbered once the teams came in from their respective practices from the afternoon that they had. As this one chipped up ahead, it's Max Lopez. Look out, he's dangerous in this kind of an area, and that shot goes wide. I think he was actually looking to set that one up for a teammate, but the Thunder then do eventually clear out.
Yeah, I got to say, very unselfish from Lopez there. Might have taken just a little bit too big of a touch as he was getting ready to take his shot and decided to cross it, and a little bit behind the onrushing Maroon player.
As getting possession back is Rourke for a moment, and Thunder get it back in the defensive half. Now it's Modus, the freshman. Settles it down and goes to his left as he looks to find number 16 in Panos Voulgaris, the junior from downstate in Champaign, Illinois. Now go out for a throw-in for the Maroons. But again, just to, what you were just mentioning about the gray-out that took place last night inside the Ratner Center. Now, I've seen a lot of games there in terms of calling volleyball, basketball. I've never heard it as loud as it was last night. And here's a chance coming. It's Rourke with the chance and sliding out to make the stop. Originally there and into the back of the net for the goal are the Maroons. It's now a 4-goal lead over Wheaton College, 4-0 here in the second half.
And you got to say that's just a defensive breakdown. It's a turnover. It's an easy ball in behind, and Rourke is just off to the races. Takes a decent touch around the keeper. Maybe a little bit too big, but fortunately and potentially very nicely for who's our goal scorer.
I believe that was... I couldn't tell there from the...
on the far side of the field here, sometimes it's hard to see the initial number.
That was Peyton Lane on the goal.
A lot of credit to Peyton there for following the play up. You could as a forward, you could assume that Rourke's going to take that around the keeper, tap it in, takes a little bit too big of the touch, goes to ground. Peyton's right there for the cleanup. That's really, really good follow-up play as a striker.
It's funny how we keep mentioning crowd morale from last night, and we get cut off by great plays. I think we should keep doing that. There's more chances of scoring goals that have succumb here for the Maroons. I'm okay with that.
It's a little unfortunate.
That is a tough contact. Both players go down, and that's Tyler Robbins again. Suffered a head injury when he collided with a Dale son earlier, and now he is down on the ground again. And also down is for the Maroons, Nate Johnson, both taking a little bit of a hard tumble, and you just hate to see that. Especially considering Robbins, who came out for a bit, was able to come back. And he's down once again.
Yeah,
clock officially stops in 1948.
A little bit too big of a touch there. Both of them reaching in, both just clashed bodies. Hoping they didn't clash heads. I don't think they did, which would be good, but just a real kind of crunching collision there.
Robbins kind of holding his throat in the neck area. So it must have been maybe a upper body shoulder collision perhaps, and took an awkward tumble to the ground. Actually, it looks like Robbins is going to come out. And looks like coming in is going to be number 9 for...
No, I think he's coming right back in. Yeah, he's right back in.
He didn't even...
Good to see.
I think they wanted him to come out, but he's like, no, I'm staying in there.
Good to see he's right
I already came out one time. I don't want to do it again. As trying to keep this one in play along the back edge there was Wingate, but he goes out for a goal kick. So it'll be Katzenpaulus to boot this one end to end.
It was a broadcaster jinx again there. You're talking about every time we get interrupted, it's a good thing, and then all of a sudden it's a bad thing.
Yeah, but that's not a jinx, though. That's not a jinx. That's broadcaster mojo, I think we should call that instead.
That one? Okay.
Yes. Broadcaster jinx is like if you're ever in baseball and you're saying it's a no-hitter through 7 or a perfect game through 6,
immediate
and then immediately there's a hit or a walk if it's a perfect game. That's the broadcast. That's a true definition of a broadcaster jinx. This is just good broadcaster mojo. That's not an official term, but I'm just going to coin it just for the heck of it. So. And it was interesting because we talk about, you mentioned how the history of the ground, how you guys, when you're there at volleyball matches, you try to be loud and obnoxious. And there was a timeout last night. I believe it was in the 3rd or 4th set that there was a serve from the Titans of Illinois Wesleyan that they were trying to, call out, with the coaches. They try to tell you, where you want to aim it on the court. They had to call a timeout because they were trying to kind of, I guess, do a little hand signal and try to mouth it. You couldn't hear it.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to take a timeout because of it, and it made the crowd get even louder.
That's very good to hear.
And let's see a platoon of Maroons come on in. We'll follow along here as Josh Schofield comes on in along with number 23, Zachary Pierce. George Bronco now comes on in, and also out there is Bryce Millington. So we accomplished all that. And coming on off will be Matus Lopez, along with Droblos,
Lick and Holtquist,
and Scott Lick. Oh, we handled that no problem. And we'll throw in now for the Thunder.
That is good to hear. It falls, a lot of the responsibility falls on the athletes here to fill up the crowds. The school has not started, so there actually aren't any students on UChicago's campus yet.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of, officially, yes. And it's more, I would say the student body population at the moment is more so athletes. and any newcomers that may be moving into the area. As the Thunder now try to develop a chance here along the left side. That's number 37, and Joey Slapatois. As this one cleared out and making the stop there is Katzimpalis. I believe classes start next week, I want to say here. Usually around this time is when things get started, mid-September.
I was going to say,
October 1st, okay.
That seems a little early.
Early? Okay, all right.
I remember it being a lot longer than that.
October 1st, and okay, so it'll be, just athlete population here until the beginning of October. I'm sure you probably have the incoming freshmen, maybe not in athletics, that are just kind of exploring the campus along the way.
Yeah, I think there's a couple
orientations
pre-orientation programs going on right now, but I don't know how much they advertise sporting events at those things.
I think they should.
Probably should.
I mean, both soccer teams ranked nationally. Volleyball took down number 11 in Illinois Wesleyan last night. Volleyball's still perfect on their season. As we got a sub now for Wheaton College as Reese Pustova now checks on in as Robbins comes out. We mentioned Rob is suffering some upper body injuries here tonight, getting banged up quite a bit out there as they trail 4-0 with over 16 minutes to play here in regulation. Looks like actually the trainer's actually going to go take a look at Robbins, so he tried to force that one out to play through it, but yeah, better thinking more so for health and safety for the sake of Robbins, and considering you're down by 4 goals.
Yeah, long-term health is always the most important thing with players. It's a long season. Got to make sure kids are healthy. And yeah, especially at this point where it's, even since even 2, it's pretty much been the same story. And as every goal goes in, it gets a little worse and worse. And I think the defense has gotten a little more open.
Now back on the right side of defense for the Maroons, they take control. Millington with the touch. Plays that one up to George Bronco.
Oh, nice turn there from Bronco. Oh, he goes for the nutmeg.
He wanted it, but he did not get it, unfortunately. Bronco, the freshman from Brazil. So you're starting to see the bench empty out here for Coach Mike Babst and the Maroons, as we have now 15 minutes to play here in regulation. They lead by 4. And a lovely ball here to Wingate along the left side.
Wingate one-on-one with Zach Pierce here.
And Wingate's going to win the bet on the left side of the box. Wingate goes through the legs, and a bigger stop from Katzimpalis. And the second shot goes over the crossbar and out of play. But what a stop there on the first try from Katzimpalis.
It's a great save from Katzimpalis. It's good reflexes. Wingate absolutely torches, I believe is it Nate Johnson or Sam Drablis? He torches Sam Drablis or Nate Johnson.
I think that was Johnston, I believe.
Was it Johnson? Very nice touch around him. Did not expect it. Katzimpalis is quick to react, makes a very nice save, and then just blazed over. Very unfortunate there for whoever that rebound bounced to.
Yeah, the junior from Maryland and Wingate put the moves on. I would say overall that's been the best offensive chance here tonight from Wheaton College.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately for their sake, there really hasn't been much to kind of spark about when it comes to their offense. And right back to it is Wingate.
Back to him, and he wins the battle again.
Yeah, Pierce getting beat here by Wingate, the junior. And then a kind of a side foot with both feet stop. As that one was about to quickly develop again, but to no avail, the Maroons will take it back to midfield. And there's some excellent ball touches here, especially on the side of Wheaton College and Mr. Wingate.
Wingate's kind of feeling it. Now he went for another Meg there.
There's this one along the left side. It's not Wingate that takes the touch, and clearing that one out of play there was Nate Johnson. Johnson was the one that kind of had the side foot stop there on Wingate's second attempt of that.
Who was it?
As we're kind of watching the previous play of that one to see the great moves from Wingate. As the ball now on the left side, Johnson will hold it for a moment and he'll clear it downfield. As trying to take control on that touch there was Peyton Lane, who has a goal here tonight. Peyton Lane has also got his first collegiate goal tonight. The freshman from New York, New York. Goes from one metropolitan city growing up and having his collegiate career in another big one.
I do want to apologize with the benefit of instant replay here. I did learn that it was Droblos who got torched.
It was Droblos, okay.
I played center back with Droblos for a full season, so we can.
You're going to give him some ribbing.
We can be honest about.
Okay.
And Nate doesn't deserve that, so I will apologize and correct the statement.
Okay, so Droblos will get, I guess, credit for that.
For getting torched, yes.
I don't know if we want to call it officially credit, though, but I guess the minus there on the defensive highlight game for Sam Droblos. That one falls on you, the junior from Austin, Texas.
Take a half point off the full match rating.
Maybe an interesting post-game conversation you two may have.
If he watches the stream, he's welcome to text me.
As this one played off the touch on the netminder of the Thunder. Just under 12 minutes now to play. And a lovely ball here as this one will go out to Andrew Wade. Wade had it, and he kind of just lost himself with the ball there.
And I got to say, I know it's 4-0 and subs are in now, but that's the exact kind of ball that I was asking for from the Thunder at the beginning of the half. It played in behind. Your captain's running in behind, putting a little pressure on. It doesn't amount to anything, but it puts some pressure on the Maroons, and you can see they're all back in their half, and now they have to flood up the field. It's still a little confusing to me as to why it's taken 4 goals and 11 minutes left for them to try that.
You kind of even mentioned this after the first goal from Matthew Coe, that why didn't they kind of start going to that tendency more offensively? And
the worst that happens is you try it a couple times, and if it doesn't work, you can go back to trying to play. But what sometimes happens is if you continually play balls in behind a defensive line, they'll start to look for it, right? You're always anticipating. So if a bunch of balls have come over your head and you see another guy winding up to play it, you might drop back. Hold on.
As that one there off the chance from Pierce has stopped. You can go ahead now.
Yeah, you might back off a couple yards, and that can slowly move a back line a little bit further back the field and relieve a little bit of pressure that's up the field. But I'm not in the I'm not down on the sideline.
Well, you're in the media world now, so you can be a little critical of plays like this. You got to remember that. You got the headset on. You can voice your opinion a little bit as the color commentator who used to play this and used to play against Wheaton College. Don't you like the transition from being out there playing to watching it from the booth?
I guess so. This is the sort of thing I would have been thinking and not saying.
Yes. As we're going to have some more subs come on in now, as Sam Barovic now will check on in along with number 15 and Kevin Quigg. And also out there, number 22, Jonah Moore. So the bench, I believe everybody is now played on the entire team. We've also went out there was number 20 and Brady Ryder. And it's coming on out. Some more starters. Droblos now comes out, so now you can. We don't have to, mark on him for any defensive deficiencies. Kyle Rourke also comes out along with number 7 and Ben Brandt. And also Nate Johnson headed to the bench. And you got some subs now for the Thunder now is number, I think also was coming in was A.J. Moyes now into the contest as Wingate will come on out along with number 14 and Shane Copeland.
Yeah, it's the one mark. The defensive unit for the Maroons has been very solid tonight. 3-5-2, particularly when you haven't played it, can be a little weird, particularly for the center backs. There's not as many people on your wings. You're a little tighter in central space. So, got to say they've done a very nice job holding up and limiting chances for this Thunder team tonight.
8:40 to play,
tackle.
And here comes an opportunity now, and that'll be onside because the defender did fall down. Peyton Lane, who's got 1 goal tonight, tries to center it. And again, kind of you appreciate the unselfishness, but at the same time, it's like you try to still want to make that opportunity in towards the net.
This is where I think something will be mentioned at the very beginning of the match about Cohen Lopez and growing and decision making is that play right there. That's a kind of play where you're alone. You're mostly alone, right? You've got one player supporting who he was trying to pass to at the top of the box. That's the kind of play where you maybe hold on to the ball for 1 or 2 more touches, right? Let a couple players come into the box. Maybe someone drifts back post. And if they don't come into the box, well, that's on them, right? That's it. That's your job of your other strikers to give you some sort of support when you're alone in the side like that. But if you hold on to the ball, you can give yourself a chance to take a guy 1v1, let a play develop, instead of playing it so early and just, maybe it's not the best pass right away.
As this one will go out for a Wheaton throw-in. Again, 4-0 our score as we wind down the final 7 minutes, 38 seconds of this contest between the Maroons and the Thunder. Maroons looking to go to 4-0-1 on the season. Again, we'll have their action for you back this Saturday the 15th when Macalester will come to town for a 3 p.m. kickoff. And then this Sunday the 16th, they'll take on Loras College at 5 p.m. So home heavy for this middle part of September.
Loras. That'll be it.
I kind of noticed you rolled your eyes when I said that about the upcoming match for Sunday. As this one, a hot pass that gets in. Nobody touched it, though, as this one will go out, and it'll be a goal kick.
That might be a very fun game to play-by-play. Loras is well known for, I think they call it swarm soccer.
Well, I will be here Sunday.
There you go.
So I'm not here the 15th but for the Macalester game, but I'll be here on the 16th for the 5 o'clock kickoff.
You can look forward to the play-by-play for that. You're going to be calling a lot of long throw-ins and a lot of long kicks.
Okay, that works for me, and I'll hopefully have you to my left and up here in the booth. And we'll have Timmy back here again as well, so he can have to climb up that ladder again.
It's a good trap there.
Under 6.5 to play as this attempt goes wide, trying to pass it as they were looking for the intended forward. I believe that was that may have been Kevin Quigg.
Yeah, Peyton Lane, very nice controller with his chest, brings it down. A little unfortunate with the pass. It was the right idea. It's pretty good hold-up play.
Approaching 6 minutes now to play in regulation. And we got men's and women's soccer coming up this weekend as well, doubleheader action. As this one, a lovely ball, as a nice tackle there towards the edge of the box. That was number 20 in Brady Ryder. That one plays along the edge of the line. It stays in play. And that one goes out for a Wheaton throw-in, and we're going to see a platoon now of Wheaton College players come on in. We'll try to keep up with this one.
Two very nice tackles there from Brady Ryder.
Chase Gwynn's going to come on in for the Thunder, along with number 13, Ben Carell, and number 3, John Steiner. And coming on out will be number 10 in Jacob Kaptanyuk, and also coming on out as we try to filter it through is A.J. Moyes. And also out is number 9 in Andrew Wade. Throwing for the Maroons. So now you've been in games that, you've been on the good side of when it comes to, I guess you could say, that quote-unquote blowout, and you've been on the different side of these before. As a player, whether it's you're staying in or you're chilling on the bench, what is your mindset when you're out there by a lead as much as this? Is this just more so just trying to, not say like pile on the scoreboard, so to speak? Is it kind of just making sure you're just refining your tools and just making sure you're keeping everything as efficient and clean as possible?
I would say for the players on the field right now, there's a fine line at which you should not score on a team anymore, but this is a competitive match. It's a Division III college match, and for these guys who are coming off the bench right now, this is a chance to play. This is a chance to get minutes and to show what you can do. I would say this should be the same mindset as if it's 0-0 with the starters on the field for both teams. It's tough to be down this amount this late in the match on the other side of it. It feels really bad, but again, it's a chance for you to play. It's a chance for you to be on the field, and those are limited. You look up one day and you're a senior and you're playing in your last 3 matches, right? Like, you need to take advantage of the time that you have, enjoy every minute of it, and that involves being as focused and as sharp as possible. So I think if there is a drop-off or some sort of, different level of focus, then I think that would be considered an issue in my perspective.
Coming in now for the Wheaton College Thunder is number 34, I believe that was. That was Louis DiCumano. So DiCumano now checks on in. DiCumano, the sophomore from Baltimore, Maryland. So we approach 3 minutes to play, and this one will go off for a Thunder throw-in. And looks like coming back in now for Wheaton College is Jess Percy, the sophomore, is coming on out with Sean Dunlop. The wind's starting to pick up a little bit more as we get towards the final minutes of this contest. Okay, we're not that far off the shores of Lake Michigan here.
Another good turn there for Bronco.
Ball up ahead as they were looking for a streaking Peyton Lane, who's got 1 goal tonight. Peyton Lane in his first season with the Maroons. As that one hit the official. As this one will go up along the left side, and this one may favor the Thunder because of that. As that's Chase Gwynn, who just checked in a few moments ago, and did it stay in play? No, it didn't. They're going to call that for a Wheaton throw-in.
Gwynn just lost his balance a little bit there. Got to say, lackluster effort from the official getting out of the way of that ball. Very disappointed.
And as we're seeing more of the younger players come in now for the Maroons, and even kind of on the side for the Thunder too, we have 2 freshmen for the Maroons that have gotten, goals here at Stagg Field. You go back to your time as a freshman, in your time, the first time you're out playing as a Maroon. What did that experience and that, the mental aspect of it feel like for you in your first time out there?
My very first time?
Yeah.
Well, my very first time, we were up 4 goals, and the opposition was down 2 men. So it was quite a different scenario than this.
Okay.
To be fair, that was so. For the first real match, it's when you're a young player, it's just really, really thrilling. And a lot of times I think that turns into anxiety, which is kind of, where we talked about some of the decision-making comes in. That's really the thing that develops over time is decision-making. When you're young, you're just excited to get out there. And it takes a few matches to really get full composure and, kind of get yourself there. And for some players, they adapt really quickly to that. And for some, they don't. It just kind of depends on the person. But, you always see after the first couple matches where a freshman plays a decent amount of time that they look a lot more comfortable, they look a lot better, and that's not necessarily saying they've played poorly or done anything wrong. It's just very natural when it's something this important to you that you put so much time into, that you're so excited and so anxious about the first couple minutes you play, the first couple matches, that everything's a little bit hyperinflated. Every decision, every pass, every goal, whatever the case may be. A goal definitely helps settle you down, though.
Right. Especially in Vincent Matus's case from earlier when he got the 3rd goal for the Maroons, a freshman from Portugal. So we wind down the final 20 seconds. That long shot goes too far to the left and out of play for the Thunder. Thunder will suffer their first loss of the season. They're going to fall to 2-1-1, while the Maroons will stay unbeaten at 4-0-1. Again, as we mentioned, the Maroons will be back here on Saturday to take on McAlester for a 3 p.m. kickoff, and then Loras College. DJ kind of mentioned his feelings about that one earlier, on Sunday at 5 p.m. as the clock winds down, and it is a Maroons victory here at Stagg Field by the final score of 4-0 over the Wheaton College Thunder. DJ, your final thoughts on this match before we sign off?
At the end of the day, you summarize it, it's a complete domination from the UChicago team. The first 15 minutes didn't look that, is a bit messy. Didn't look that bad from the Thunder's perspective. They started to gain control around the 20-minute mark, and I'd say that goal on the counter just kind of broke it open. From that point on, it was full UChicago control, really under no pressure. Did a great job limiting chances, and the chances that were there, Katzenpaulis did a very nice job with. It's a very resounding victory for the Maroons squad tonight.
So the Maroons begin the first of a 4-game homestand here at Stagg Field on a very positive note. As again we mentioned, McAlester will be here on Saturday for a 3 p.m. kickoff, and then Sunday Loras College comes to town for a 5 p.m. kickoff. I'll be back for that one on Sunday evening. DJ, it was great to have you up here in the booth. Thanks for the knowledge and the insight, being a former player that you are. And again, maybe that one day we'll have the number 28 retired in the great rafters of the Ratner Center, or the number posted out here at Stagg Field. So for DJ Weiss, I'm Ryan Fay. For our terrific crew again, shout out to our producer Dan Obey and our camera guy Tim Helms. I'm Ryan Fay signing off. This has been Maroons Men's Soccer here on the Maroons Broadcast Network. So long, everybody.
I think that's a pretty easy answer for all of us. This year's a national championship. We came close the past couple years, especially last year. Heartbreakingly short in Greensboro, but that is the simple goal of this team is a national championship.
have no doubt we have the team the personnel to do that, and I think the passion to do it, because we came so close last year, and a blown call and a few missed chances and some bad luck really just sent us home. And we want to be back in Greensboro. I have no doubt we can do it.